What's up, guys? It's me, Thomas, welcoming you back to Powers Capital. I covered Serv Robotics 6 months ago. I think it was like January 29th. Let's have a listen, see what I said.
So it started off innocently enough back here in, the sub $5 range, and then it gapped up. And what's interesting about the gap fill is these things, sooner or later, a wise man once told me, these act like a magnet for price action. So you don't know when, but you always have to kind of keep the door open psychologically and know that the gap will probably be filled sooner or later. So let's put that in our back pockets and then look and see if we notice anything else of significance. And right away I can tell you that if you just looking at the lows and the highs, it appears to be, smack at the average.
So then I talk about the wedge coming to a close and what happens when wedges normally come to closes. Let's listen to that real quick. Don't want to spend too much time watching old videos, but
it will force price action out. So you've pretty much got until July 1st.
And it's August 1st.
And it's going to come, I want to say squirting out.
Pause.
It's going to be forced out, and you're going to probably have some pretty powerful price action one way or the other.
So, the gap fills down at what? 2 something? Now let's look at the actual chart. All right, so you can see all my old annotations, and there's that part of the wedge. And then I think I connected these in the video, like something like this. And so you see it didn't even make it to July 1st out here. It went ahead and dropped out in March, which not a good sign, by the way. But anyway, dropped out, retraced, tagged that former support, now resistance level, and then it was basically free to make a new lower high, lower low, etc. And it is now down 54.72% since it broke out of that wedge. Now you can also see this gap fill rectangle. We don't need this anymore because the wedge is invalidated. Maybe it'll come into play later on, so I can delete that. This, I'm not sure what it is, but I put it on a long time ago, so I'm not going to... we're just showing how far it dropped in how many days. I'll probably delete that. But here's why I'm reluctant to mess with things on TradingView, because there's a really cool feature. So this is where the gap fill is, called Object Tree. And if you click that, you can tell when you made all these drawings. So that's a rectangle. This is, price bracket, whatever. And so you click on this, and then you see it's highlighted, and you mouse over it, and you can see the date that you drew the shape. So when I was filming this video on January 29th, 6 months ago, I drew this gap fill and I said, watch out, it could come down here. And then you see the top of that gap fills at 392. So right now we're knocking on that door. This recent low has us down to 432. So we really only need 392. We're going to chop-a-door this thing. About a 10, not even a 10% drop to get there. So, Serv Robotics, and by the way, imagine, me saying I'm not going to touch this thing at 12 and letting it go all the way down. If it makes it all the way down to 392 or to fill the gap, honestly, here, let me get those indicators out of the way. To fill that gap, you need to hit 280. Because gap fill, you have to hit the bottom of it if it's an upward gap fill, and you have to hit the top of it. Like you see this one right here. If it's a downward gap fill, and this, I realize some of you guys, I'm preaching to the choir, but if you're new to looking at charts, right? So you see this gap right here, and let's just do this. And I'm going to use my horizontal ray tool. So when you hit control and click, it just spits a line out like a never-ending line. You don't have to make a second point to end the line segment like you normally would with your trend line tool, right? Like if I did this, for example, then I have to draw the second point anyway. This didn't even get filled. So, I mean, there's a remote possibility that this could come, and it's kind of like tagging a double bottom right here. And if you look at the weekly, it probably hasn't confirmed below. As a matter of fact, let's just go ahead and do that right now. And if you hold a command on Mac, by the way, it does this like magnet freeze thing. That's how I'm doing like this. Let's do a regular trend line here. So we've got a wick below. It could honestly go back up, and then it could tag this before it goes back down to fill the gap, and it would make everybody FOMO in, and then it would shake out the weak hands, and then it would go back down into buying range again. And that's just the type of cruelty that you can be subjected to in the stock market. I'm not saying that's going to happen. My guess would be, I mean, this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of your last 9 candles are bearish candles. So my guess would be it just carries on going down until it fills the lower end of this gap. It's going to tag 280, wick below maybe, and then maybe it'll be off to the races. It'll come up here and start flirting with the $20 mark. That would be ideal, because if this thing hits 280, I'm buying. Anyway, guys, keep an eye on Serv Robotics. Here's a little video, and this just shows you what it does. So this little guy, and I say in the old video, which I'll link. Where's my face in this video? Up there. I'll go ahead and link the old video, and I explain everything. Basically, if you're in like Miami, New York, like a major city, they've rolled these things out, and it's like an autonomous Uber or DoorDash. Now they're also using, I hear, these to deploy some equipment into hospitals. So the applications are endless. It seems like I can't see myself buying this stock at 280 and then just closing my eyes and letting it go and regretting it 10 years later. I can't imagine that, because robots aren't going to keep doing less and less stuff. So, I mean, maybe somebody buys them out. Maybe another company comes in and, we have to buy that company, but I don't know. Right now, I'm looking at Serv Robotics. I like what I see. If it fills that gap at 280, I'm filling my boots. If you got value out of this video, go ahead and hit the like and give us a subscribe as well if you haven't already. That's it for today. Catch you on the next one. Trade well.